Mohanji Foundation as global ambassador, and Mohanji sends his regards. He was not able to join, so I'm representing as his wife and spiritual disciple, and also someone who was inspired by his teachings. I wanted to say that I just came from Ukraine, so since you were mentioning Ukraine, we have a charity called Hague Foundation, present in more than 21 countries. We do our best really to reach out to the helpless in a direct way, but it's been a challenge to do that in Ukraine for many reasons. We managed to find the people, we managed to spend time there, and we found a school called Boyani School, which is maybe half an hour from the border. So I went there myself, I spent 3 days, and it's been most amazing. That the very last day I was there, the deputy principal of the school took me to her favorite church, the Boyani Church. I'm also Eastern Orthodox by birth, so I connected with the church deeply, and I didn't know that there was a icon of Divine Mother that started to release tears. You know, so that for me was such a powerful, it was really a very special energy. We came there. During the communism, this church was closed. It was like a warehouse, and now it works again. And she said, when Divine Mother releases a tear, it's a sign of a time of pain, but also a time of deep transformation. So I really feel we live at that time. We can see that in one day we can have a new virus, a new lockdown, a new war. People on one side closing down into the little cubicles, into the little devices. And on the other side, there are people who are awakening spiritually. So for me, this Living Peace project has always been a beautiful place of unity. I was blessed to journey to Greenland. I'm sorry Uncle is not here today, but what I've experienced in Greenland, it was symbolical. We were in, I think it was 2016 when we were there, or 2017, and it happened to be the International Day of Yoga. So 21st of June, we were at the big ice, exactly at midnight. And I was not aware just how critical the situation is with the melting of the ice. It was really educational. But having all of us from different backgrounds gathered there on the International Day of Yoga. And for me, yoga is very special because it's been part of my own journey to discover the ancient science of yoga. I'm also an instructor and represent Himalayan School of Traditional Yoga, which is part of Mohanji Foundation. And we really do our best to convey the depth of yoga, you know. So, as Ms. Shazia said, this knowledge belongs to everyone. Yoga is not part of Hinduism or any religion per se. It's part of Sanatana Dharma, the eternal ground-breaking rules of existence, the eternal law. In the science of yoga, we speak about Soma and Agni. You may be familiar with that. Agni is the inner fire, and Soma, it's difficult to translate this word, but for me, Soma is exactly the water that finds its way through the deepest of crevices between the rocks and goes very deep and can never be stopped. It flows. So that's why Soma is connected with the water. Now, in the science of yoga, we also know about the Sukshma Sharira, or the subtle body, or etheric body, where we have the chakras. Water element is the second chakra. And this is the chakra that also is the doorway to subconscious mind. So when you speak about the water, I've also noticed when I conducted yoga classes that yoga asanas that work on cleansing of the second chakra are so deep. You know, you really need to breathe very deeply. It's exactly that Soma. You know, you need to flow so deep. You're invited to go into your subconscious, and you're invited to go way beyond your ego identity. So that's water for us. You know, it's within our body. It carries that special message. And as humanity, if we take our water for granted, we lost ourselves. We are lost. As humanity, we are lost. So I touched upon in my previous brief talk about how the ancient civilizations all gathered around the water. It's not without a reason. You know, when I was pregnant, I wanted to have water delivery. So I remember when I entered, at some point, you enter the water, and the pain reduced immediately. When I was in the water, the pain reduced from 60–70%. You know, I was really surprised. What is it in the water that reduces the pain? And I personally feel, after reflecting upon it, thank you, thank you. I feel it's water allows us to accept and flow, and this is for people the most difficult thing. You know, when we encounter trauma, pain, we close down. Somewhere we stop. We get stuck. So for me, the message of water and why it's soothing and why it's so nourishing and why it's connected with the most sacred aspect of the very beginning of life is because it carries the message of flow. And even the smallest drop of water will always find its way through another river to the ocean. So in terms of consciousness, in terms of acceptance, in terms of purity, in terms of dignity also, like back to Ukraine, we donated at the Boyani school 4 shower cabins and ovens and stuff, but these shower cabins made the biggest difference. Immediately the refugees who were there, they were queuing up to shower. And we said that dignity of life, respect for life, without water, we are totally lost. So understanding that, and at the present time, all of us actually gathering today here, taking our time from our busy schedules for something completely not directly connected to our personal need maybe, but for a higher good for the whole humanity. I congratulate each one of you for taking the time, because when we, from the purest of heart, come together for something greater than ourselves, these are the moments in time that remain eternal. And I had a near-death experience, and I really saw that. I have to say that I saw a film of my life. I saw different moments of my life that became alive in my consciousness. It was like a summary before I leave. And I saw that these moments when we did something far greater than ourselves, it's what really stayed as our treasure, as the wealth. You know, so I feel we have done a great thing today, that we have united our energies and our pure intentions for something far greater than ourselves. And maybe in history, someone will say, there was a group of people who gathered in the Peace Palace to stand for peace and love and water.